Hi guys, Brian here. Welcome to another commentary video. Well, it's not going to be commentary, it's not going to be quite a rant video either. It's going to be kind of somewhere in the middle. I just kind of want to talk from the chest. Not that my other videos aren't from the chest. It's just usually when I do the other videos, I have like some bullet points that I usually at least have up. This one's just completely off the handle here, so hopefully you enjoy that. It's not going to be quite as angry as a rant video. I might still call it a rant video. Anyways, I just want to talk about today just kind of like my dissatisfaction with interacting with basically anything with the DBD community, because it ultimately just boils down to the fact that DBD is politics. And I run a channel which is very much heavily focused on talking about aspects of the game, debating aspects of the game, criticizing aspects of the game, and highlighting good aspects of the game. So basically we're always analyzing the game up, down, left, right. And I think in the time that I have just spent in this game, just analyzing it for a very long time now, definitely over a year, it's just, I've come to realize that essentially thoughts and feelings in this game essentially don't matter, because just like with politics, if you're not on my side, you're biased and I don't have to agree with you. Now, that's usually what happens in any sort of like bipartisan, which means two-party system situation in politics, is either you're a Democrat or a Republican. And if you're a Democrat, obviously there's no standing ground that I could have with a Republican, and vice versa. And whatever, like essentially the left and the right party system that exists in so many different areas of the world. If you're on the left, there's no way I can agree with the right, and if you're on the right, there's no reason I can agree with the left, which has always been a very harmful thing. It's just not even in this case, but in like the history of the world, right? Because as somebody who is, obviously, as I've mentioned before, been a social studies teacher for 5 years, reaching across the aisle is what it's called. Basically, being able to make compromises with the other side is literally what makes the world go round. Quite literally what makes nations continue to function and allow us to maintain peace and progress for everyone involved under the nation's banner. And I feel like DBD's kind of fallen under the same situation where you're either a survivor or you're a killer. Even if you play like 50-50, it doesn't really matter because you favor a side. And depending on what side that you main, or the side that you prefer to play, all of your thoughts and your opinions are thrown out the window because you're just biased survivor, you're just a biased killer, and you basically can't argue in this game anymore. Like, you just can't do it. You just can't argue in this game anymore, because essentially what people do, just like with politics, is they search for the R or the D under your name, and they immediately shoot to that, and they go, well, all your ideas are false. All your ideas don't make any sense because you have this specific party branding, And that's just not how the world works, and it's never been how the world works. Like, you can have good ideas on both sides, especially those of you gamers that play 50-50. And even in politics, like if you're 50-50, if you're more of like an independent or a moderate, you're called a fence sitter, and they disregard your opinion because you're quote unquote a fence sitter. You can't make up your mind, and you're just trying to make everybody get along instead of standing up for your ideals or whatever. So the same thing happens in DBD is like if you're a 50-50 gamer, they're just like, oh well, you just play both, so you don't know what you're talking about because you're just trying to appease both sides. And it's just like I hate, because like politics has never been fun. This may surprise you, but as somebody who literally taught government, I hate politics. I hate politics. I have, over time in my life, slowly exited any sort of like political feelings that I've had, just because like this stuff, just because the just kind of like the straw man argument of, oh well, you're just biased, I'm going to ignore everything you say, has just infected everything. And it's like we can't have a conversation with each other anymore at all, because we're just at the drop of a hat, it's all, well, you're just biased, so all your thoughts and opinions don't matter. So you can't even like make a good argument or discussion without like somebody bringing that up. Was, oh well, you're killing me, or you're surviving me, that's why you're thinking that. And it's just wild to me. It's even gotten to the point where on this channel, when I'll make something like a video that's like favored towards Survivor, because I've been playing Survivor more lately, so I understand more intricacies with Survivor. and I'll make a video that's like, hey, this would be a good thing for Survivor to make Survivor better. And somebody would be like, oh, well, that sounds like that'd be awful for Survivor. And how would you know you're a killer main? It's like, like even when you actually like put forward something that you think would be good for the game's health for the side that you don't even have the full preference for, after you've started playing more of that side, it's like it's still not good enough. It's still not good enough. Like I said, they were looking for the D or the R in the end. They're looking for what party you're on. They don't care. And I think that on top of that, politics also gets like really nasty, like really, really quickly. A lot of people are really awful to each other in politics because the things you're talking about in politics, at least, like affect our daily lives and the lives of a whole nation of people, right? Or even if you're only like, if you're doing politics at like state level, that affects a whole state of people, or you know what I'm saying. So all the way down the line, that's affecting a lot of people, typically, these decisions. So I think at least it makes more sense for them to be passionate about it. But people so often just lose their cool and are absolutely just like really vile to each other and really like rude and painful to each other. And I see the same thing happen in DBD. Obviously, you can go on Twitter for like 2 seconds and see that. Is like, oh, well, you're a killer main, so this thing is stupid. Everything's dumb. I mean, I can pull up, and I don't mean to call this out here, but Tat, who is a Legion main and actually works hard at like providing concepts on how to like fix certain problems that are in the game. I can go down his Twitter feed and I can see so many just like awful, like kind of like real bullying responses to the fixes he's trying to make to the game. And I find that so wild because like those dips aren't doing anything. They aren't sitting there trying to fix the game, but they'll jump on the opportunity to like bash somebody else's thought in the game. And that's because, well, you know, Tat mains Legion. Tat, even though they play Michaela and they like Survivor a lot, they main Killer, they're a Legion main. So like your thoughts are bad. And because of this whole political landscape that we have with DBD, we really got to make you feel like shit. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just so, and it makes me like, it puts me in a weird situation because I love talking about the game. I love analyzing the game, but I don't even want to talk about the game with like my friends anymore. Like my friend Matt was trying to talk to me about like, what do you think about the difference between like demo being higher in the tier list than where you placed him? And I didn't even want to talk about it because I'm just like, people freak out over that stuff. People treat DBD so intensely, and it's just like, I don't even want to talk about these things. And that makes me think of like, where does that go with like my channel? Because like, I don't know, I want to be as active and as involved in the comments as possible, but it's just like so much of it just devolves into just like petty bullying and arguing, and it's just so frustrating because it like I said, it's essentially politics. Like I'm out here trying to like provide good ideas for what I consider to be good game health for the game, and it's just like there's just so much like introspection of, well, what's your true intentions? Because and to be fair, I feel like a lot of DBD content creators do kind of like only err on one side of the game and try to present changes and thoughts in the game as if they're like for the good of everyone, and then it's not really about, you know, it's not really about like the good of the game health. It's more about like, once again, pushing, you know, your party's best interest, your role's best interest, which is a thing that also happens in real life with politics, which ergo continues to prove my point that a lot of people in politics will like push forward an idea that's not good for everyone, but they kind of push it that way because they know that'll make their party happy if they can get that thing to happen. And that's the same thing with DBD, is people will try to push these wild changes through and say that's the best for game health, but it's really only good for their role, whether that be Survivor or Killer. So I get that like suspicion and that harsh criticalness that comes my way. But like, I hate that we're even in that zone, right? Like, politics has always been such a, like I said, just an unhappy thing because of the way people argue and cut each other down and really harsh. And it's just, I hate that that's like integrated with my favorite game. I hate that that's integrated with my favorite game now. Like, the climate and social interactions that I have when I'm trying to discuss politics with somebody is the exact same way it conducts itself when it goes down in DBD and in the DBD community. And that, like I said, I literally left politics because I was so sick of the way people treated each other when trying to get thoughts and ideas across. And now it's just like in my favorite game. Like in my favorite game, I'm having to deal with people, you know, treating each other with the same kind of rudeness and harshness that existed in politics. And it's not even over anything as like intense as like the safety and future of the people living in an entire nation, state, etc. It's literally just a group of people in a game. You know, it's a video game, and that's why we're treating people as awfully as we are, is because it's because of a video game. I don't know, man. I've literally had people that like hung out in my chat every day, and then like they found out I had an opinion about the game that they didn't agree with, and when they couldn't sway me to their side, they like literally left. So there's stuff like that just, I don't know, that just bothers me. Like, why is it that intense? Why has it got to be that intense? It's so bizarre to me, and I don't think it's like a warranted feeling, but I guess it just makes sense. And we as people, as humans, are very naturally like tribalistic, and my party versus your party, my group versus your group is a very like human thing, as disappointing as it is. I just wish it had stayed out of this game, but that's not the reality we live in. So let's work with what we can fix and not what we can't. And I think that comes to like, I guess the point, if there is one to this video, or it's more of just like an open-ended thing, is like, what do we do in that situation? Like, how do we cope with this just like very like politically charged landscape with Dead by Daylight? How do we have firm and good conversations about the game and cut through like the killer and survivor politicking that goes on? Because it does happen. It straight up does happen. Like if you go to a killer stream, they're spouting things about the game that are completely different than if you go to Survivor stream and the things that they're spouting about the game. Like everybody's pushing their narrative. Everybody's pushing a narrative. How do we get to a point where we're just talking about what's best for the game health and trying to make that happen? And how do we cut through the politicking that happens on both sides? I am still trying to figure that out. I am more than happy and willing to work it out together, try to figure out thoughts and spitball. So if you have anything that you have any ideas with this, do let me know down in the comments below. I know it was a little bit more of a rambly video, but it was just kind of me kind of getting that distress off my chest, because it's something I've been noticing for a long time, but it just kind of like came to a head where I'm just like, dude, this is just a thing and it just sucks, and I have a platform to talk about it, so I just will. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate you so much. Once again, let me know if you have any ideas on how we like cut through the BS there. But other than that, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, friends. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, but if I don't, I will see you when I see you, friends. Goodbye.